What's up, A to Z Sports Live on a Thursday, and we have the Tennessee Titans schedule for the 2024 NFL season, one game at a time. We will go through it and talk about why I think this Titans schedule is just one piece short of a perfect season scenario for the Tennessee Titans in year one under head coach Brian Callahan, with a lot on the line, a lot of new pieces all over the roster. Year two in the NFL for quarterback Will Levis, and we'll discuss all of the reasons why I like the schedule. We'll get into what you guys think of the schedule. There are several things to like. Maybe there's some things to not like. We'll go over a thumbs up, thumbs down type scenario. What do you dislike the most? What do you like the most? Everything about it, Jack. And then we'll do a little bit of the difficulty level. Like, we'll check a little difficulty level. So make sure everybody comes in and locks in, likes the show. Hit that like button for us here. I got the magic bucket, Jack. Look, 2 weeks in a row of me making sure I have it. Now, I didn't drop it all over my office floor right before I got it out there, so I had to go clean that up. But we are ready to rock here on this Thursday. Tomorrow morning on Friday, we will do our season-long predictions. So be ready for that. Today, we're going to diagnose the schedule. Tomorrow, we're going to do our predictions of how it's going to end on May 17th. So, Jack, welcome in. Let's get this thing rolling.
Yes, happy to be here on this Thursday. Happy Thursday to everyone. Happy Magic Bucket Day to those who celebrate. Oh, I see Austin already outed me in the chat for being a little late this morning. I get it, Austin. You know, sometimes I need some motivation, and I think you've given it to me today.
Right? Yeah, I was ready at 8:03.
Hey, look, I get it. I'm just saying, I don't out you when you're a little late. Just saying. Anyways, if you're watching on Facebook, don't forget to like the show. I see we've only got 13, 14 likes now on the show with over 130 people in here. So let's like the show. And also, if you're watching on Facebook, let's share the show. Share it to your Titans Facebook groups. We want to bring everybody in here and really take the temperature of the Titans fan base after schedule release day, a very fun day in the NFL offseason. It's a day we've been looking forward to since early January, maybe even a little before that, for Titans fans who had given up on the Titans a little before that, understandably so. But let's share the show on Facebook. Let's grow the show. Let's grow the audience. It's good for us. If you're watching on YouTube, tap that bell icon at the top of your screen. Turn your notifications on so you do not miss an update when A to Z Sports goes live. Just because it's the offseason doesn't mean it's time to turn those notifications off. Next week, we'll be hearing from more players and coaches. There's a lot to come this offseason. Don't miss a thing. Turn your notifications on YouTube. Finally, if you're watching on Twitch, text that Twitch link around to your Titans text groups. You want to kill an hour at work? You want to kill an hour while you're getting ready for work? Do it with us. Bring your friends on in here. And Austin, let's get the show on the road.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Jack Gentry, the Tighten Up Podcast, and we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show are segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. That's at A to Z Sports. Also, make sure you hit us up and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. We got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us, and they help out all of you guys, like Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care, and Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans and get a quote today by using our link, fbhp.com/ATOZ. All right, the schedule is out. Let's just go back through our predictions yesterday. So I predicted the Titans to have one primetime game, to open up against the Bengals at home, and to play the Colts in Week 18. Those are my three predictions. Jack, your three predictions were what?
I believe the Texans on the road in Week 18. We get the Texans at home in Week 18. I said we're going to open up against the Patriots. Did not. No. I said Commanders. That's right. Yes. Said we're going to open up against the Commanders. That didn't happen. And then the third one was the bye week.
No, you said two primetime games.
Two primetime. That's right. I'm surprised they didn't put the Titans on Thursday, man. That's usually a guarantee when these schedules come out, but no Thursday game.
No Thursday games. We've got the Titans schedule here. I want to ask, this is a on the fly, like, do we want to play the video? Do you want to see the Titans schedule release video or not? I have it ready. Jack, I did not ask you before this. Do you want to play it or do you just want to jump into the conversation? It's up to you. It's up in the chat. Do you guys want to see the video one more time of the Titans schedule release video and what they did last night, doubling down on their approach from last year? So do you want to see it? Jack, what's your vote?
Oh man, the chat's so split that half of them are gonna hate me no matter what I say.
It's all over the place. Yes and no. Play it. Jump in. Do it. Play it. No. Play it. Yes. No. Jack, you're the tiebreaker. It's up to you.
Yeah. Play the video.
All right, we'll play the video.
Hey guys, Red Stallion Girl. I'm here back on Broadway.
Oh, the Bengals. Yeah, I love the Bengals.
Love the Bengals.
Love Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
They peaked in 1970.
And
over the cheese.
Okay.
Okay, so Alex Earl's boyfriend.
That's the Dallas Cowboys. That's Dak Prescott.
I wouldn't want to be a table around him.
Like, he will go on fourth every time. He just don't care. Like, he's like me if I play the NFL on my phone. I know that they used to kick the Super Bowl's ass for a consecutive, like, maybe like 3 to 4 years straight with Tom Brady.
And then what happened?
My favorite actor is a fan of theirs.
Oh.
They got rid of Kirk Cousins and they shouldn't have.
They have David Carr is what I know about them.
They got rid of Kirk Cousins and they shouldn't have.
I don't know that one either. If you could describe their team in 3 words, what would it be?
Going downhill.
Eli Manning, for sure.
That's pretty much it.
I don't know who those guys are.
I don't know who they are either.
I'm terrible at this.
I'm
not.
so bad.
They have fans?
I love the Titans.
I do too.
Best team in the AFC South.
We're from Tennessee, me and him, so hey, go Titans.
They've been really good lately.
I like your quarterback.
Their fan base is awesome.
Good fan base. If you were here for the draft, this place was like Times Square on New Year's Eve.
I think my favorite 2 things were obviously the Kirk Cousins, but I think the very end of the New York dude. This place was like Times Square on New Year's Eve. Like that little like slide at the very end cracks me up because of how New York that guy is. But yes, look, it's hard to have a sequel that's better than the original. The original last year was so damn funny. This one pretty good. But the Titans have their schedule officially. Jack, any thoughts on the schedule release video?
Yeah, like you said, it's rare that a sequel is better than the original, and this one, I don't know. I think you had to kind of repeat the same style that you did last year that worked so well. If you're in that, if you're on the Titan social media team, but I don't know. It just doesn't hit as hard the second time around. Is that just me? No. Is that too harsh?
No. It's I've seen this movie before, and you know what's coming. Now, I think they did a good job by, they peaked in 1970. Obviously, they got rid of Kirk Cousins and they shouldn't have, ×2. And will the Falcons be on that list here in a couple of years when Michael Penix rolls out there and the Falcons got rid of Kirk Cousins when they shouldn't have, ×3? Yeah. I don't know. Well, there was some good ones in there. The going downhill for the Bengals is sure to ruffle some feathers or some fur. So I thought overall solid job. It's a lot better than a lot of other teams in the NFL who just did stupid or bad things. Yeah,
like the Jags just did old vines clipped together. That probably took them like 2 hours to make that video. So Titans, the Titans did put a little more effort in. But hey, I liked how they did. They have fans. When it comes to the Houston Texans, that's going to piss them off. Yep. And the Jags, the question marks is so great because who knows who the Jags are? Who cares about
Exactly. All right, Jack, let's go ahead and get into the Titans schedule overall because we've got it. The Tennessee Titans, 17-game, 18-week schedule opening up at the Bears. We knew that. The New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers most likely coming to town in week 2. Aaron Rodgers' former team, the Green Bay Packers, in week 3. The only primetime game on the schedule is week 4 at the Miami Dolphins. Then the bye week, first divisional game home against the Colts, at the Bills, at the Lions. 2 really tough playoff team road games ago. Then back home against those New England Patriots, at the LA Chargers, home versus the Vikings. And then back half of the season where a lot of divisional games pop up, at Houston, at Washington, home versus the Jags, home versus the Bengals in a big time revenge game. Maybe, I don't know if it's a revenge game, just a lot of connections there between the Bengals and the Titans, at the Colts, at the Jags, and home against the Texans there to wrap up the season. So just to go through a couple notes of some things, is the Titans only one primetime game. We'll talk about that. The bye week being week 5 is pretty early. I do like something that I'll get to and go more in depth is no Thursday game. So I think that's interesting, which means the Tennessee Titans will be playing off of normal rest basically for the entirety of the season. And so that's something to continue to dive deeper in. I've got some other notes and stats on that overall. But Jack, I just want to go ahead and ask this question. We'll just go ahead and get it rolling here in the chat today. Are you thumbs up or thumbs down on the Titans schedule? Just overall, are you thumbs up or are you thumbs down on the Titans schedule overall? Want to get your opinions on that. Maybe I'll put up a YouTube poll here in a second, but thumbs up or thumbs down on the Titans 2024 schedule. But first, Farm Bureau Health Plans. I'm 2 thumbs up on Farm Bureau Health Plans. They can help you save money and get better coverage when it comes to your health plan at fbhp.com/ATOZ. They've been serving Tennesseans for well over 77 years, and so much has changed in that time, generations and generations. But Farm Bureau Health Plans has stayed strong and continue to invest in their community, which is the entire state. They're involved in sports. The Tennessee Titans, they're a partner with the Titans and Titans Radio. They're working with University of Tennessee and other colleges in schools around the state, as well as those youth sports programs too. So whatever it is, whatever your situation may be, Farm Bureau Health Plans can be there for you. Get a quote today and use our link, fbhp.com/ATOZ.
BetMGM.com new users, if you're looking to switch up your luck and change sports books, or you're looking to get in the game for the first time, do it with BetMGM, the king of sports books. Download the app. New users, plug in our bonus code that you see on the screen, ATOZ Sports, and you'll get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. Great deal going on right now. New users, sign up. Don't worry about losing that first one. Even if you do, BetMGM has your back with up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you lose your first bet, only at betmgm.com.
All right, so Jack, I will send you to the chat where everybody who's watching the show needs to like the show. Whether you chat or not, like the show, please. That helps us out quite a bit on Facebook and on YouTube. Are you thumbs up or thumbs down on the Titans schedule overall? Jack, what's everybody saying out of the gates?
A lot of ups out of the gates. We'll start with Luman on YouTube. Tighten up. Clayton, all say up. So does Dylan. Denise and Fire in the Sky say thumbs down. We've got a string of ups coming in here from Eric, Josh, Nick, Curtis, Darren, Rashid's up, Lucas up. Sean King and Eddie are down. Cameron's up. Ashley's also up. Maserati, John, Steve, Rooney, Joe, all thumbs up. What is this? Cam rejoins them. Down. We got a thumbs down from Cause66. Thumbs down from Burning Devil. Couple of ups mixed in here. Deshaun's thumbs down. So is Anthony. Anthony says the early bye week makes it a thumb down. That's where I'll stop it right here.
Okay.
I totally agree with Anthony. I mean, you've got a team full of 30-year-old receivers and, an experienced back end, in that secondary. And let's face it, it's a Titans team that struggled with injuries for the last 3 seasons. You want that bye week to be like week 10, week 11, so that when these guys inevitably pick up the bumps and bruises that come along with an NFL season, they got a week to rest. They got a week to recharge towards the back end and really push down that last 6-7 games. There's 5 of the last 7 games the Titans play against divisional rivals. So if you had a bye week right before that intense gauntlet, then I would feel a whole lot better than I do with a bye week coming in week 5 after a really tough first month of the season.
So you're thumbs down. Like you're absolutely thumbs down on this.
Yeah, I'm thumbs down. I think the Titans got a tough break on the schedule.
Really? Because I think Brian Callahan inside the building is thrilled. I think he's pumped. One primetime game, don't care. Don't care. That does nothing for you right now. It doesn't matter. It's a fan thing. Primetime games screw up routines for coaches and players. No short weeks, no Thursday night games, which means regular scheduled routines for the players and the coaches. They play 4 teams who are coming off of short weeks, including the Jets, the Texans, and a couple others. Can't remember off the top of my head right now. That you have coming on short weeks. That's a big deal. You got 4 teams coming off of Monday Night Football games where you play them on Sunday at noon, and you have no teams who come off of a bye. When the Titans have a primetime game Monday night, which could be a short week on the road, a road Monday night game, you have to travel home at midnight Monday night, get up on Tuesday and prepare for a Sunday game. Nope, bye week. This is fantastic. There are 2 games on the schedule. The week 18 is a TBD. Could be Saturday, could be Sunday, could be any time. Who cares, right? But 2 games outside of the last game of the season that are not at noon on Sunday. And that's the week 4 game against the Dolphins, and it's mid to late season against the Chargers, and you're playing in LA, so you're going to get the 3 o'clock kickoff. That's perfect. I think this schedule is set up as good as it possibly can for the Tennessee Titans to compete for the AFC South. You might think I'm nuts about that because I haven't even gotten to what I think is really good about this too yet. But what are your thoughts on my thumbs up, way thumbs up on this schedule? Like the early bye week, yeah, that's, again, the title of the show is the Titans schedule is one piece short of a perfect scenario. That early bye week is the one thing. If you could slide that back 3 weeks, I'd be fine. But outside of that, it's a perfect layout for the Titans schedule. So, Jack, how do you feel about it? I still got 1 point in my bag. I still got one thing in my back pocket to get to as well.
Yeah, I hear you. I think it's fair to be concerned about playing 13 games in 13 weeks to close this thing out. I mean, that's nearly a full season right there. And, just with the age and the experience of the Titans brought in this offseason, I really do think having a week 5 bye week hurts them. I think a lot of these guys are going to come out of the gate with a lot of juice. And, by the time October rolls around, I still think they'll have a lot left in their tanks. So that week 5 bye week, I get it, comes after Miami on Monday night. You don't have to worry about playing a short week. You get an extra week to prepare for the Colts for your first AFC South test of the year, which is going to be a tone-setting game in the division. So that's a couple advantages of that early bye week. But I just really think in terms of just getting guys back later in the season, bringing that second wave of reinforcements where other teams might be, burning out slowly would have been really important for the Titans to have. That's really the only reason I'm thumbs down on this thing. And the fact that, the Titans are going to be banged up heading into those divisional games down the stretch. Maybe the divisional teams will be as well because, injuries are guaranteed in a season of football. So I don't know. The bye week kind of ruins this for me.
Yeah, Daniel says, Austin, why do teams have week 5 buys while no teams have bye in week 8 or week 13? I believe week 13 is too late for buys. I don't think anybody has a week 14 bye. That's so late. So, I don't know. I don't understand why nobody has a bye week in week 8. My one guess, Daniel, here, and this is just a flat-out guess. Week 8 might be within that trade deadline window. And so if you're within that trade deadline window and you have a bye week, that might get in the way of potentially making a move to trade or not trade. That is my prediction on why no week 8. I don't know about the week 13 thing. Daniel says week 6 and week 14 buys are set up there too. So I'm not exactly sure on that. And then Anthony says week 13 is Thanksgiving. They showcase everybody. So there you go. Week 13 is Thanksgiving. Every team plays because you're playing games on. They have a Black Friday game again.
I don't know.
Remember seeing that.
I don't think I saw it either. But hey,
they've had Black Friday games the last couple of years, but I don't remember seeing that at all. But maybe week 13 Thanksgiving makes a lot of sense. Jeff says the Colts have a week 14 bye. So look, I Colts and Texans have week 14 bye, and then,
that may be a little too late.
Yes, There is a Black Friday game. Apparently the Chiefs are involved. Chiefs Raiders. There we go. Black Friday. So yeah, the Raiders wearing black and the Chiefs taking advantage of a great deal. There's Black Friday game, Chiefs and Raiders right there. So look, I like the schedule overall. I'll get into, so again, I'm just going to list off the reasons why I like the Titans schedule. Now, the Bear says Austin's only happy because he doesn't have to work on holidays. Yes, that's true. As soon as the schedule came in, we all, as Buck mentioned last night on Primetime, we get the schedule early. The first thing Jack did was no holidays. Jack celebrated the no holidays in the group text. And so, yeah, that's a big deal. But that's not the real reason. I like the fact that the Titans have one primetime game and 14 noon Sunday games as of right now. Routine is a big deal. No Thursday games, no short week preparation. I also like the fact the Titans don't play against anybody coming off of a bye week. They have 4 games on the schedule where they face the opponent that has a short week going into them. So these are all big time things. The Titans' only short week is when they go to Miami on Monday Night Football. Then the bye week follows that. So even with the early bye week in week 5, you get it to your benefit because you don't have to play a short week on the road and travel a bunch there too. So for a lot of reasons, I really like the schedule. But I think the biggest reason why I think this Titans schedule is set up really well for the Titans to actually compete to win the AFC South is because of how the divisional games are set up. Now, you might think that's counterintuitive because they play 5 divisional games in the last 7 games of the season. But I think that works to the Titans' advantage because everything is new. New coach, new play caller, new coordinator, new offensive line coach, new staff everything, new strength and conditioning guy, new vice president and GM, new analytics department, new offensive line, new wide receivers, new running backs, new defense, new defensive coordinators, new everything. So you get at least 2/3 of your season under your belt to figure it all out and then get ready to go win the division. So the good thing is the Titans can't lose the division by figuring it out with everything being new. And I love it. I think it's great because the Titans are going to be alive in the AFC playoff picture and in the AFC South because they play so many divisional games and add another AFC opponent late in the season. Look, 12 through 18, you've got 6 AFC opponents in 5 divisional games in a winnable game on the road at the Commanders. It's perfect. No matter really what happens in the first 11 games, the first 11 weeks, 10 games, if you're just within striking distance, you can have a losing record in your first 10 games. You can probably not be 3-7, but you can be 4-6 and not be in a bad spot. If you're 5-5 after the first 10 games, you're in a good spot because you've got so much opportunity to climb the ladder late in the year, and you've also got winnable games up front in the schedule as well. I think it's the perfect time to play Caleb Williams. If you're going to play a rookie quarterback, you want to play him in the first 5 games of the year, and you're getting Caleb Williams first. And so I think that's great. He's going to have a little bit of like butterflies. He opens up at home. There's a lot of expectations. You have a brand new defense. He has no idea what the hell is going to come at him. He's got new receivers, new everything too. And you get to go tee off on Caleb Williams in Chicago. And look, another thing that's positive, you avoid any type of extreme weather. You avoid all extreme weather. Maybe at Washington in early December or late November, whenever it falls, is a little chilly, but it's not that bad. It's just like playing at home right now in those late months too. You got Miami in September, but it's a night game. That's a plus. And then you got Buffalo is early in the season before it gets cold, and Chicago in the first damn game of the year when it's the most beautiful city in the country, right? So I think this is a great way the schedule's fallen this season. So Jack, how do you feel about the overall thoughts on my division opponent take two?
No, yeah, I totally agree with it, and you made some great points. It's nice to think that I disagree with one point you made. 4-6 through 10 games isn't going to get you there. because you're not going to sweep the division. You're not gonna win 5 of your
Well,
last.
again, if you're 4-6 in the first 10 games, you have to beat the Colts, and you have to beat the Patriots. And Jack and I, we're gonna do our win-loss predictions tomorrow. But if you're 4-6, then you have to have 2 of those AFC wins, and you probably have to beat the Chargers too. You got to, 3 of the 4 probably need to be Colts, Patriots, and Chargers to get AFC wins. But that's kind of beside the point. We'll get more detail to that Friday.
Yeah, I'm looking for more of a 5-5 type start, and the Titans are gonna have to steal 1, maybe even 2 if they blow 1 of those winnable games in the first 11 weeks of the season. So, I don't know. Like Gary says, Jack's so negative. I'm not negative. Like Austin makes great points. It's great to be in a routine all season long. It's great to have teams coming off short rest, and it's great to catch Caleb Williams, early. So while I do like some aspects of it, just not having that bye week later in the season is a real downer for me, man. And, just with the Titans' history, I feel like it's so important to have that bye week later. And this is another season. I think it came in week 6 I think it came in week 7 maybe last season after London.
Yep.
But I just would like that to be a little bit later just because of, some fresh wounds I have due to the Titans being injured. But that's my biggest gripe. There is another part of this schedule that I don't believe is a great advantage for the Titans that we'll get them to here in just a second.
Yeah, let's go ahead and ask the question to the chat, Jack. Let's combine our next 2 questions because we're asked what you guys like the most and what you dislike the most. So what do you like the most and what do you dislike the most about this Titans schedule? We'll get into that. But first, the Bone and Joint Institute. Jack, had my appointment yesterday for my knee. Good news, knee is structurally fine. No problems with the ACL that I had almost 15 years ago. No meniscus problems. That was my biggest concern. Ooh. But I do got a little patellar tendonitis I got to deal with. So the Bone and Joint Institute is right there for me. I've got a script for some rehab sessions. Going to go to the physical therapy over the next few weeks with the Bone and Joint Institute. Convenient to me. They got a location about 10 minutes from my house, which is perfect. But I went and saw my guy, Dr. Scott Arthur, at their main campus in Franklin, Tennessee, right off of I-65 and Highway 96 yesterday. I was in and out, Jack, in 30 minutes. And that includes check-in. That includes sitting in the waiting room chair for all of 45 seconds. That includes going back, talking to the nurse, going in and getting x-rays, coming back and talking to Dr. Arthur. And then we talked about football for about 10 minutes. So that's probably why it took even longer than it did. But checked out about 30 minutes, in and out, super easy. The Bone and Joint Institute can take care of you whenever that injury pops up. They can do it all because they have the experts in the building, all the tech, all the resources, all of it right there for you. And just like I said, it's easy to book an appointment that fits your schedule, just like I did. Got a follow-up session coming up soon with Dr. Arthur later in the summer. So check them out online and book an appointment whenever that injury pops up in life, boneandjointtn.org.
BetMGM.com. If you're looking to get some skin in the game, there's plenty of action going on tonight and every night with the NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs in full swing. Download the app, plug in our bonus code A to Z Sports, and you'll get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. Take advantage of this offer, guys. If you're new to the game or you just want to switch sports books, BetMGM is the perfect landing spot for you guys. Just make sure to use our bonus code when you sign up. AETOZ Sports.
Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years or older. Tennessee only new customer offer. All promotions, set of qualification, eligible requirements. First online real money wager. Only rewards issued eligible bonus bets that expire in 7 days. And for problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789. So, Jack, going to ask everybody what they like and dislike most about the Titans schedule in 2024. So I will send you to the chat. What does everybody like and dislike the most here in this schedule? So, Jack, if you've got the chat ready to roll, let's see what people are saying.
Lucas dislikes the back-to-back at the end against the division rivals of the season. We hate the bye. Let's see. The early bye is not being received well. Seeing Bayard week 1 and back-to-back home games twice are a couple of Eric Castillo's favorites. 4th place schedule, early bye. Let's see. Love no short weeks. Hate the week 5 bye. Dislike early bye. Like later divisional games. Okay, I hear you there. Love the end of the schedule. from Caleb. Hates the early bye. So kind of the same comment. He likes that we're ending with the AFC South, but the early bye is just kind of a bugaboo. Richie says it's just right. The bye is the only negative to the schedule. Like starting with the Bears, hate the bye. No Chiefs, no Ravens. Gotta love that.
We've known that, Darren, for months.
But when you see it on
came out with the season.
When you see it on paper, I feel like is when it really kind of triggers, and that's the benefit of a fourth place schedule, even though some of the teams that came in fourth in the AFC are going to be really good this year. Like Chicago, unlike the December games, dislike the bye, no Thursday games. Austin, what I dislike about this schedule is the first 4 games of this thing. I mentioned yesterday that Will Levis and the Titans need to build confidence early with some easy wins. They're in an easy win in the first month of the season. Sure, you get Caleb Williams in his rookie in his NFL debut, but the cornerbacks you're going up against in those first weeks. I mean, you got to deal with Jalen Johnson on the Bears. You've got week 2 Sauce Gardner on the other side of the field. Week 3 comes. Remind me, week 3. Week 3 is
Packers.
You got Jair Alexander, and then you got Jalen Ramsey with the Dolphins. So those first 4 games, Will Levis is going to have to surprise somebody. They're not going to be favored in any of those first 4 games. So he's got to go out and he's going to be tested early in this season, which might be good for him to throw him to the fire early. But I mean, this is not an easy first month of the schedule. The Titans could, I could see them coming out of there 0-4. I think 1-3 is probably the most likely. If you could squeeze 2-2 out of there, I mean, that would be a hell of a start to the season. But let's not mince words over this. The first 4 games of the schedule are really tough.
They are. And you play 3 playoff teams from a year ago, which sounds like a great look. But you've got, I think the first 4 games are very tough. But the Packers, the Dolphins, and the Bills, I guess you play 4 playoff teams from a year ago because you got the Bills and the Lions in there. So, I don't think it's, and they're in the first, 7 games of the season, all 4 of them. So I get the point of having an early schedule that's tough and not letting Levis kind of naturally mature into it. But I think it's fine. I think the benefit and Gary 2 times who's calling you negative Jack, and now I see Nate Burner saying he wants to mute Jack. I think here's the positive.
The question is, what do you dislike most about the Titans schedule? So that's what I dislike most. I'm not hating on the Titans.
Right. Yeah. So I think to flip your dislike into maybe it's just a wash. These teams have no idea what to expect from the Titans too. Right? Like, it's a clean slate. You don't know what Brian Callahan's truly going to do. Like, you can look and say, oh, they're going to be like the Bengals. Okay. They got pretty good personnel on the offense outside of weapons with all the Ridley, D-Hop, and Tyler Boyd, and Tony Pollard, and Tajay Spears. The offensive line is going to be better because you got Berth and Olga to work with over the next 3 months leading up to it. So, look, I think playing tougher teams early is the right thing for this year, and having your divisional games late is the right thing for this year. Get all the wrinkles ironed out. Maybe you surprise somebody. Maybe you surprise the Jets, who come in and have high expectations, and they're coming off a short week. The Jets go to San Francisco on Monday night to start the season. That is a tough, physical, going to be an emotionally charged game for the New York Football Jets. Then they're going to have to come back to New York from San Francisco, fly to New York, and then fly back down to Nashville on a short week, right? And Aaron Rodgers, that Achilles is going to swell up making all those 4-hour flights. And so I think it's a good time to play the Bears week 1. It's a good time to play the Jets week 2. The Packers week 3, they started off a little slower last year, but they've got a lot of momentum, obviously, going into this year with Jordan Love and what they're able to do to win a playoff game looking impressive. I think I get it. Like, you've got a lot of tough looking teams on paper early, but what you dislike the most is those first 4 games, then the bye week. What do you like the most again?
I like finishing in Houston or with Houston. I thought that game would be in Houston, but I'm glad that the Titans do get to finish with Houston because that's a game that they could have a lot of high stakes around it. I mean, that could be a win in your end game for the Titans. So I like that even if you're a game back from the division heading into week 18, you have a chance to win it if you beat the Texans. So that's kind of what I like the most about this. And, this is a Titans team that's going to get better as the season goes along. Like, it might be a little bumpy through those first 4 weeks in the bye week, but I really think that they're going to hit their stride around that week 11 mark when they play Minnesota and turn it up from there. So I like that, even if you're just a game out week 18, you got a chance to turn it around and win it with a win over the Texans. And I think that's when the Titans will be at their best later in the season, when everybody kind of gets acclimated to the Brian Callahan system, when Will Levis feels a little bit more comfortable behind a more secure offensive line in front of him with new pass catchers that he's going to get used to by that point in the season. So that's what I like the most, is finishing with Houston.
Yeah. Now, so Devin says, how do the Titans lose the division? Seriously, like how do the Titans not win the division is what Devin's asking. I mean, I think it's because the Texans are really good, really talented.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud looked phenomenal last year and basically playing a full season. The Texans were able to beat the Titans without CJ Stroud last year in Nissan Stadium. So look, Stroud's good. He's real. The Texans have talent around him. They went and got Stephon Diggs. They added Joe Mixon. The offensive line's strong, and they're beefing up their defense and having some serious pass rush there. So that's why. But so what do I dislike the most about this schedule? The only thing I don't like is the week 5 bye. Ideally, you slide it back 3 to 4 weeks, and you have that week 7 through 9 or 7 through 10 bye week right in the middle, ideally. But what I like about it is literally everything else. I don't think I've been clear enough, maybe. I love the schedule. I think Brian Callahan and the coaching staff and the players love the schedule, because I saw J.J. Watt's tweet yesterday, and normally I roll my eyes at most things or almost all things that J.J. Watt tweets, but I thought he was dead on with what do players care about when the schedule is released. They care about the first game of the season. They care about bye week next. They care about short weeks or anything that's going to disrupt your routine, and holidays. Those are the 4 things they care about. You have no holidays. You have no short weeks to disrupt the schedule and your routine. You play the damn Bears the first game of the season, who are just like you, putting everything new back together in one piece again, and you get them on the road. I think it's a good thing the Titans are on the road to start the season. I think
agree.
it's a good thing to get the Bears and Caleb Williams' debut in Chicago. I think that's extra pressure, extra juice for Caleb Williams to have to make mistakes. And so Big Jeff can complain all he wants about being disrespected about only having one primetime game. That's fine. Go win. Win 9 games. See what you have for primetime games next year. Surprise everybody. And I think they can do that. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. So I like everything about the schedule. It's a player-friendly, coach-friendly schedule.
And the thing about the primetime games is, man, primetime games are earned in this league. Titans fans know that as well as anyone else. Because if the Titans aren't winning, they're not playing on primetime. If the Titans are good, they maybe get 3, at most 4 primetime games in a season. So these games are earned, and they're not given to you. And the last 2 seasons, the Titans have probably been one of the most unwatchable football teams the league has to offer. They don't want to put the Titans on primetime. I like that they get a rematch against Miami. Miami's going to come out real hungry. They're going to want it real bad. But, they still got to see Will Levis. They still got to see L'Jarius Sneed. They got to figure out how to move the ball with Tua. So, I'm not upset about the primetime games, because it's kind of what I expected, a low number. I said 2 yesterday. 1 is not shocking.
I just feel like primetime games are for the fans. I get, like, in the moment, players get juiced up for primetime games because they know everybody's eyes are on them. They know it's at night. You get that extra feel in that moment. But I feel like players would be totally fine with playing at the same time every week. Don't you?
Yeah. I mean, look, they're not like baseball players, but athletes in general are creatures of habit, and having an exact schedule with an exact regimen, I'm going to get ice this day. I'm going to do, prehab this day. It's nice to get them in a set routine. for the entire season, really, outside of that Miami game, and they'll have a chance to reset the week after with that bye week. So, no, I think that's an underrated part of this schedule is playing the same game, the same day, every week.
Right. All right. So, Jack, we had another question for the audience today. Jesse says, no, Austin, hate noon games. Why? So this wasn't my question. Maybe we'll save the other question for tomorrow. If you hate noon games, why? Why do you hate noon games?
You get a few more hours tailgate if you get a little later kickoff. That's all I got though for that. Yeah.
That's all you have?
That's the only thing I could think of.
I like the noon games because you have the game, you experience it. You don't have to wait all day. Like, you wake up, you get ready, and the game starts. You don't have to wait around for 3 extra hours or 7 extra hours. I like the noon games.
Yeah, I'm used to them, right? I feel like they're fine. I guess the only other argument you could really make for having a later game is, there's always less 4 or 3 o'clock kicks than there are noon kicks, and so maybe you get a little more
football.
You could miss more other football, and maybe you also get a little more attention from fans across the league if you're balling out on one of those 3 o'clock kicks, and maybe another game or two or blowouts. The Titans would be getting more eyes if they played more games around the 3 o'clock time slot. But look, I have no qualms with noon games. I think that's the perfect time to play. So
yeah, David says, well, church. I mean, church. You should be able to get out of church early for a noon game. That's no big deal. Like, you should be able to do that. And Matt, I do get this. Matt said he lives in Arizona for a few years. It sucked getting up at 10. Quit complaining.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Titans fan that lives out in the West Coast, noon games probably kick your ass a little bit because it's 10 a.m. start Pacific time. I get that. That's why when they're playing the Chargers, they play at 3:05 or 3:25 because that's 1 o'clock LA time. So I get that. That makes a ton of sense. But I think noon games are the best.
David says church and tailgate as his 2 reasons. David, church starts at noon at Nissan Stadium every Sunday. Okay. You can do your Holy Communion at the concession stand at the Dollhouse is inside there, maybe a little Logan's. But church starts at noon on Sundays in Nissan Stadium.
Yeah, look, if you're a person that's got to go to church in football season, then hit that 8 a.m. service, man. They've got it for a reason. They got that 8 a.m. service for a reason. It's for if you want to tailgate and you want to go get ready for Titans, hit that 8 a.m. service, be out of there by 9:30, go get you some food and get some beer and head to the stadium or whatever you want to do. So that is what noon games are the way to go. So
bless up.
Yeah, I like. Now, when I was in Knoxville in college and that noon game was 1 p.m., that took forever. It took so long for 1 p.m. to happen in college. 1 p.m.'s tough because it feels like you wait. I'd much rather have it at noon. All right, so let's ask this question here real quick, and that is, what's the difficulty rating on this schedule on first glance on a 1 through 10 scale? What's the difficulty rating for the Titans schedule at first glance on a 1 through 10, knowing the Titans are rebuilding and knowing that they have, stuff to figure out with all these new parts and pieces to this organization. So difficulty rating on a 1 through 10, need more likes on the show. Hit that like button, please. I'll update the poll on thumbs up, thumbs down here on YouTube in a second as well. But please hit the like button. We're approaching 100 likes on Facebook, which means YouTube should be about double what Facebook likes are because that's what the standard is for you guys over there on YouTube. So hit the like button, please, while you're here. Difficulty ratings in the YouTube's lacking when it comes to like department. So better hit that like button. Facebook's kicking your ass there. So, Jack, what's the chat saying on difficulty level?
Difficulty, people are checking in around the 6 mark. So Orlando's at 6.5, Ashley's at 6, so is Eric. We've got Billy at 5, Jaron 6, Brandon and Pistol Ramsey thinks it's a little tougher than that at 7. Big G believes it's an 8. Stephen King always with the pro scores, 2.386. Titans Kyle 4.8. Richie and Steven say it's a full 10. I don't know if I'm buying that. I mean, you don't have the Chiefs or the Ravens. I don't think it's a full 10 difficulty. You've got Cameron Strong at 8. Rooney's at a 6. Dylan Cole 6.4. John's at a 5. 7.7 from Alex. 7 from Jonathan. 8 from Steve. Tennessee Ties at 7. Burning Devils at 7. 3.5 from Ira Hoshi. A couple more 7s from JM and Mario. Austin, I'm at a 7. I think that this is and really it's at a 7 generally, but when you talk about fourth place schedules, I mean, this is a 10 for the difficulty level on a fourth place schedule, right? Like the fourth place teams you're playing in the AFC, Cincinnati, the Jets, both have Joe Burrow and Aaron Rodgers, along with a plethora of options alongside those dudes. So it's really not a fun year to have that fourth place schedule, and you're playing the NFC North. All 4 of those teams could be playoff teams. The same could be said about the AFC South. There's 4 teams there that could finish around 8, 9, 10 wins. So it's not an easy schedule for the Titans. You add that early bye weekend, and I'm at a 7. I don't think this is a cakewalk by any means.
Yeah, I mean, it's never a cakewalk because who are the fourth place teams that the Titans landed? Because they play the 2 divisions that you play are the AFC East and the NFC North. So
Right.
the Bears being fourth place doesn't matter. The
Mhm.
Patriots being fourth place doesn't matter. So you're looking at the fourth place teams being Washington, Cincinnati, and the Chargers, right? Those are the 3 that you got. Everybody else is in one of those divisions.
Right.
So Washington, Cincinnati, and the Chargers, 2 of the 3 have new head coaches in Washington and the Chargers. And then the Bengals are fourth place because they were riddled by injuries and Joe Burrow's situation from a year ago. So like the Bengals are better than a fourth place team. The Commanders, I think, should be a win. The Chargers, you don't know what to expect with Jim Harbaugh, but you've been able to beat Justin Herbert recently. And so we'll see what happens in that game in week 10 at LA. It's not like LA is anything to be scared about going on the road. So, it's a tougher fourth place schedule. I agree with that. So you're at a 7 out of 10 difficulty rating. I mean, I'll say it's a 6. I think it's tough because of what the Titan situation is, but I didn't know what else to expect. I think, and I've said this several times, the schedule broke about as well as it could for the Titans. Is the early bye week is the only damn, that stinks. But it comes after the short week from the Miami game on Monday, and you get all your most important games are at the end. And I think that is what's so important. You play all 3 of your division opponents the last 3 games of the season. You have a chance to be in it for as long as possible. And honestly, Jack, I think that's what the NFL wanted. The NFL doesn't want teams to be eliminated from the playoffs before Thanksgiving. They want teams to be alive for playoff contention approaching Christmas. And because of how the Titans schedule is set up, they will be alive in postseason contention approaching Christmas because of how backloaded the AFC and AFC South slate is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you on that. Ira Hoshi said, the NFC North is overrated. They are not good. Look, I don't know that the Super Bowl winner is going to come from the NFC North, but there are no easy wins. Like even the Vikings in week 11, they'll have plenty of time to figure out the quarterback situation. And Darnold's going to play teams close with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison out there. And Brian Flores is in charge of that defense. There's just no walkovers outside of maybe the Patriots. But, as a Titans fan, I don't know that you're allowed to say that any game's a walkover just based on how the team's performed over the last few years and just considering the fact that we still don't know what a Brian Callahan offense looks like in real time. So I don't know that you can call anybody a walkover, but the Patriots are definitely the closest thing to it. But like I said, the NFC North, I mean, that's a tough division to play.
It is. It's a physical one, but the good thing is you've got the Packers are at home, right? You avoided the bad weather with Green Bay. You avoid the bad weather with Chicago, and the other 2 teams playing a dome. And you get the Vikings at home, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In Detroit,
Jeffrey, real quick, says we are the underdogs. Titans are 4.5-point underdogs against the Bears for week 1, and if they're 4.5 to the Bears on the road, there's no telling what they'll be at Miami.
Yeah, but the Bears are going to get a lot of love. Like the Bears are going to be a surprise team to win their division. The Bears, right? Like because they weren't the worst football team. They had the first pick because of the Panthers. They were the ninth worst football team. The Titans were the seventh worst football team. They've added a bunch of good players in the offseason and the number one overall pick. Like I think, the Bears are going to be slobbered over for the next several months.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Which is good for the Titans, right? I mean, they're gonna hear everybody fluff the Bears, and
sure,
I'm sure it's gonna offend some of those guys because there's guys on that roster that have done more things than the stars on the Bears team have that aren't getting the respect they feel like they deserve. AKA Big Jeff.
There you go. All right, it is now time, Jack, for the Magic Bucket. So let's hit it to wrap up this Thursday. Shout out to our friends at Wilson County Hyundai, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or check them out online once wilsoncountyhyundai.com. So, Jack, Magic Bucket. I got it right here. I will go first and then you second. I think that's that this week. Can't remember. Weeks don't make sense to me anymore. Okay. One of us has done this. I can't remember if I've done it or you have done it. Naming as many Heisman Trophy winners as I can since the year 2000.
You did that.
I did that?
You did that.
Okay, so I can't do that again.
Yeah, you got a decent run on that too.
I think you're right. This is for me. Okay, you did this recently. I did not. What daily activity would you sacrifice in order for your favorite team to win a championship?
What I say, not eating lunch or something?
Yeah, I think you gave up lunch.
Gave up a meal.
So, for the Tennessee Volunteers to win a college football playoff national championship, what daily activity would I give up? I mean, there's one extreme answer I can go with, but I don't want to say it because, hey, Nico has arrived. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year. I'm going to say caffeine in the morning, which is a big deal. That's a big deal for me. It's a very big deal. And
I don't run on caffeine.
American Top says brushing your teeth. No, that is
that's a bad one.
That cannot be an option.
You go to the games, you scare all the other fans away.
No,
man.
You cannot. This is a non-negotiable. Teron Davenport was asking a lot of Titans assistant coaches, what are non-negotiables that you have for your position group? Brushing your teeth is a non-negotiable for life. So, but
hey, he's diehard. I mean, if you're willing to give up brushing your teeth, you're diehard.
Yeah, right. But morning caffeine is what I would give up. Daily activity for the Tennessee Volunteers to win a college football national championship throughout the playoffs.
Okay.
And
I'll hear you.
If you're not giving up pizza, you're wrong. You eat pizza every day, Devin? I want pizza every day. I don't know about that.
Yeah, right. But hey, I mean, pizza's great. It would suck to see it go.
Yes.
But it would be worth it.
Okay, I've done this. I don't think you have. So, Jack, you have to give all of us a step-by-step tutorial on how to change a tire.
You got roasted on this one.
I did. Now, do you remember the correct answer of what I messed up? I messed something up I messed up a foundational aspect of the step-by-step changing a tire process. Do you remember what happened?
I don't think so. I'm going to have to get lucky.
I will never forget this. So, Jack, I will not tell you. You have to go What is the step-by-step process of changing a tire?
All right, man. First things first, you pop that trunk. You go get the jack. You jack that car up. You go get your little wrench. You start undoing the lug nuts, okay? Taking those lug nuts out. Once you do that, you'll be able to remove the tire. You slide the tire right off. Put the tire to the side. Now you want to get your new tire. You stick that thing back in there. You tighten the nuts on there. And then you jack it back down. And you've got a car with a fresh new tire ready to tear up the town.
So you made the same mistake I did. You
God,
loosen
feels like
the
I didn't
lugs.
leave anything out.
You loosen the lugs
Loosen 'em
before
before
you
you-
jack up the car.
Okay. This is great, though. This is great. Now it's like seared into my brain.
Yeah, but you
So-
forgot. It should have been seared into your brain when I made that mistake weeks ago, but clearly you forgot. Now, the real test comes into when one of us comes across a situation where we have to change a flat tire, and maybe my AAA membership has expired. And do I remember to loosen the lug nuts before jacking up?
I'm a kinetic learner. The chat's all over me right now. I'm a kinetic learner. It doesn't sink in when you tell it to me. Like I got to do it to learn it.
Kinetic learner. I haven't heard the term kinetic learner probably since 4th grade.
Oh my gosh. I mean, with math, I knew by the time I was in like 7th grade that I had to do when letters started entering the equation on the math side of things is where I kind of got lost. But
Yeah.
I'd have to write it out like a handful of times, different problems, and solve it. And I wouldn't learn. Like I couldn't learn it from the teacher on the whiteboard. I had to do it myself to figure it out.
Devin says, yes, Austin. I eat pizza every day. The F is wrong with you.
You live a great life, Devin. Don't stop that either.
Cholesterol is going to be wrong with Devin at some point in time. That's just going to come up to bite you. But hey, if you can eat pizza every day, then props. But I just don't think it's a smart thing to do.
Hey,
But that's
nothing can
okay.
be wrong with you if you don't ever go to the doctor, though. You never have anything until you go to the doctor.
Wrong. You still have it. You just don't know.
Stay away
All
from
right,
the doctor, Devin. You're perfect.
Yeah, right. That'll do it for us. Tomorrow morning, prediction time. Jack and I will give our win-loss record prediction for the Titans season with this schedule. So make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Like the show before you go. And we will be back on a Friday morning tomorrow. Buck Rising will be live tonight for A to Z Sports Primetime. We'll check you guys later on. Appreciate it as always.